I don't know if you remember, just to like refresh this information, I'm an experienced designer in the Revit team. So pretty much this means that I'm trying to make technology as useful as possible and enjoyable to use. And this is why I kind of am trying to understand your workflow and how you use Revit in your day-to-day work. And this is also the reason why I will be asking all sorts of questions. Before I ask you anything else, I have to ask you about if you are comfortable for me to record video this session. It will only be used for the purposes of this research and for me to take better notes, but it will not be stored linked directly to your name in any ways. Is it okay if I record it? Okay, thank you. So then let's go back to the introduction stage. And can you also tell me a little bit about your day-to-day role and the type of projects that you work with?
Sure. I work in the civil engineering industry. We do a lot of buildings. Sometimes we have to, detail the rebar civil structures such as bridges, sometimes even culverts and manholes. So we use them because there's no other software available for that kind of things. So that's the main focus we do right now. Also we use in some sort of buildings, but there's been a lot of time that we didn't do that. So we focus now in civil structures.
Okay, great. Thank you for the introduction. Now to explain in short what I planned for today's session. It will take roughly around 60 minutes. It will include 3 tasks inside of Revit with this new workflow that we are conceiving now. And at the end, there will be a short questionnaire regarding how you found the feature today. I just wanted to mention before moving into Revit, to remember at all times that we are not testing your skills inside of Revit, so there is no right or wrong way to answer. I just want to see how you would approach this in a day-to-day situation. And it's very helpful if you manage to think out loud, because it helps me follow your thinking and to be up to speed with your new logic. So now about the Revit project itself. You are modeling the reinforcement in an office building with a concrete structure. And you will see that all of the tasks that come next are referring to this goal. For the beginning, we will have the reinforcement already modeled in this column over here. And we are looking to reuse this pattern from here so as to populate the other columns in the building. As you can see, this is the Revit project, and I will be giving you remote control. So now you should be able to operate with this My Revit. Yeah, it's moving. Perfect. And feel free to look back at the slides and read again, or look at the picture if necessary. They are in the Google Chrome tab over there in the bar.
Alright, so I need to copy this Rebar to other columns. That's the task is?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, usually, well, my workflow was a little bit different. I usually do the first column and then copy the code, but this is interesting. What I will do is this.
Okay, but 1 second, I just wanted to mention that we are looking to use a new feature, so not how you would do it in a day-to-day situation now, but like in a new way that didn't exist before.
Right. I'm so sorry, what was the new way? You're saying I can use the copy button here. I have to use another one.
Yes.
Alright. So I will go down to this. And we will use this.
So this button from before that you just clicked on, what would you expect it to do, judging by just how it looks and like at first glance?
Well, first I think this will be replicate the Rebar, so what will be the source face? So this will be source face. This is the source. This is the source face, so I select a destination face, and it has to be equal. So I think this one, yeah, there it is. So I think to the process. I think it is equals close so equal, but this one is already a bit bigger, so I will see this as 5 rivers inside, so the main or the source is so it copies with also the separation, not only the number, but that's pretty useful.
I don't hear you very well. I'm not sure if I don't.
Okay. So I was saying that the command, the Rebar not only copy the number of Rebar in each side, also the main characteristic is that the Rebar it is copied with the separation of Rebar. I mean, if this was separated by I don't know 1 inch, so here 1 inch, it will be draw not only 4, it will be 5 rebar in each side, so that's pretty clever. Well, I think I did it, isn't it? Or should I copy in this one? There it is. I think that's interesting also. Yep. How did I do?
Does it work as you would expect it to for the larger one?
Yep, but I have to check it for one moment, so I will stop I will escape the camera. Did it not save it? Oh, that's interesting. I think I forgot to apply the accept button. Now that I master it, I will do the processing. I think I have to select the Rebar, copy it to select only Rebar. Check this, okay. I use this one. Select. What about if I use this not use only faces? So I check it. I will select destination and I will try to do this. Oh, this one is easier to find the same face, and then I will finish it. Yep, that is correct.
How would you go about checking the result of this?
Yep, I will select the Rebar. So, please.
So what will you be looking at to make sure that the result is correct? What are the characteristics?
So the first thing I will do it is to select this Rebar. So I will find the diameter of the Rebar. It says 25 millimeters. So it has to be the same side, and also the spacing here it says 150 millimeters. So I check this one. Yeah, it's the same Rebar. I will check the shear reinforcement here. Check this. This has a shape into one and the diameter of it is the same shape, the same diameter, and the same spacing, so I think it propagated very well.
Great. We can already move on to task number 2 if you are prepared.
The next task.
Great. So I will take over the mouse. Don't be surprised if it starts moving around because it's from me.
Okay, that's fine.
Task number 2 is we have some walls over here, and at the end of the wall we have some reinforcement. The one over here will already be modeled, and we are looking to reuse it to the other wall ends, the ones with red need to be fixed. So as you can see in this view, the one just zooming a bit. There we go. We can have the controls back now.
Should I copy the same method with now only in the plan? Okay, so that will be interesting. So I will zoom it here to the rebar.
One second, the one that we are referring to for this exercise is the one in the walls.
Ah, the one in the walls. All right.
You will be able to see it over there. It's yeah, see next to this.
This one.
Yes.
This is a shear wall, so I have to copy this rebar at here. All right. So I have to copy this in another in this another wall. Is again the propagate rebar. I will select the cost. I think it will work better the last time. I will select the destination. There it is. So there's another one here. I will check this one. There it is.
Okay, and how about if you need to reinforce also the other end of each wall?
That's interesting, isn't it? What should I expect? Well, in that case, I have to use align by face. I notation there. I will select this face. There. I will. Well, I don't know. Let me try if this works here, so I can do a little symmetric one. Oh yeah, it is. It is working just as I expected. Then I will repeat it here. Oh, it is delete the other one. I didn't expect that. So if I will finish. I will try it again. Now selecting the two. Select only Rebar. Propagate Rebar. Well, now that it is two, I can select by host. Let me try it here. Now there it is. Well, it is the same Rebar because the last one I checked that. That means it copy all of the Rebar in the wall. That's interesting. It's very useful.
So this is pretty much for the second task. And if you are ready, you can already try the third one.
Yeah, move it.
Okay.
Bring it. Bring it on.
So for task number 3, we have those stairs, and they have a little bit of reinforcement, and we are looking to place the rest of it. This is how it will look at the end, and this is how it looks now. So you have only that one. Now you have the mouse back. You can do your thing.
I'm so sorry, did I miss the slide? Could you show me again, please?
So, of course, as I said, you can always look back and forth.
Alright, so I have to reuse the now I'll show select all of this. Well, and I have to replicate this along the landings. So first thought to propagate Rebar. And now I have to align by trace. So I select this because this is the main one to me. It and the destination trace will be the same. Will be this one. Yeah. Now, alright, it is the same. It is.
So, why do you think that it plays to the rebar like this? Outside.
I think the problem is that I select this one, and it was I didn't realize that it is different number of steps. I think so. I could do cancel and maybe selecting the numbers. I will select that face. I will select the maybe the stereo face. Here is this. Maybe because it seems to be that this is main. I will select this. Now I will use here 1, 2, and 3. So 1, 2, and 3, and select it. And now it is working. So it is interesting, like to look for the rebar that will be special.
Yeah. And for the rest of the steps, how do you approach them? Like just the
Another steps is
yeah.
well, I use this. I only have to select this one and repeat the process. So I will select this surface and do it here and here. This is not the way we used to apply the rebar in stairs. We use a very different method. Well, that's because that's the construction. It's a little different. We use the rebar along the slab you show here. And the steps we don't use the reinforcement. I think it seems a little bit more, so we use some kind of Spanish model of rebar since I entered the field. So it's interesting to see this new form of reinforcement stairs. But I also say that this kind of rebar we use in some big stairs, such as in sports. There's always I don't know the main term there is in English, but the one where the one where you set people, isn't it? Where they expect when the place where they see the field of sport, football and other things. That's the kind of rebar we use in common stairs, such as houses or buildings. We don't use it, but I think I did it. I think so this one, I think it is interesting. It is not working such as I will first and I will try this. Maybe I just try this one, and now I will use this space and and now it is working as it is supposed to do. It's something interesting there. So in finding the right face again. And this one, it is interesting. Yep, I think I do. So, well, now I will delete this. Useful.
Yep, that's pretty much it. So can we move on already to the questionnaire?
Okay, it is fine.
Okay, 1 second. There we go. So those questions are related specifically to this feature of today, the propagation.
Oh, right.
And you can also click on them.
I just got it.
Just click on it.
I was real satisfied. Because now that's what I try to do. Oh, right. So I am very well on this tool. I mean, the first time when you told me that I can use the older buttons, I was a little bit fast, but it was so easy to understand. I mean, you saw, and I could saw the button right there. It was pretty easy. That's good sign.
Yeah, yes, I agree. I was wondering also regarding the name of the button itself, propagate rebar. Do you find it like it describes well what it does, or could you maybe think of a better name for it?
Another name, it's the name. About the name, it is a little bit peculiar. Surely it comes to my mind that this will be the button that it will help me. Maybe because the term replicate was come to my mind, it was a little confused, but the icon, it was very helpful. So I think the name it is correct. The one thing I could suggest to you is that you make sure that in the Spanish version it will be the equivalent, because sometimes it changes a lot. The Spanish version, the same is so similar. It is propagar, so it is so similar to propagate, so it will work fine. It is better than replicate now that I think, because if you understand what the command does, it is say that from one element it will replicate to other one. So it is say that you have to select one first and then others. I think that's the main reason behind the propagate, that it has to initiate with one. So if you do not have one, then it will be difficult to initiate the process. I think the name is fine, and the second option, second place, it will be replicate, and that will be. But the name, I think it is comprehensive.
Okay. Yeah. So, and I had another question also regarding the general feedback about how it works as a workflow. If it was out already, like today, how likely would you be to actually use this feature in your day-to-day work? Let's say again from a scale from 1 to 5, or
I will use it. It is so easier, because in the field we used to model beams and columns, and if I got to do a design of one column, it is always that this rebar in that column, it will be always equal to someone else. It is necessary to do that. It is very important to do that, because if you have a lot of different rebars in columns, in beams, all over the floors, it will be a little bit difficult to the contractors and the workers, because there will be some kind of mistake. That's always that it does. If you complicate the rebar, it will have to complicate the workflow, and sure that it will lead to errors. So I will use it, because in my field I try to replicate the rebar the most a lot of times, to make that the workers find it very simple. It is interesting. Even if it is very simple, there will be mistakes, but that is a workers' problem. So we have to deal with that, because there are human errors. But with this, I think I could improve my time with the detailing of rebar very much. I think I will use it in columns, sure, also in the stairs. I think it is a good. I say that my rebar design is not such as the one you showed me, but in the ones that I use, it is sure more easy to replicate. I mean, I use the longitudinal rebar along the chair, so it will be very fast. I think this will allow me to work in a building. I don't know, it is 5 to 6 floors. It will help me very much. I think I could do the detailing about, I don't know, if I take it to 1 hour to do that, all of them. I think this too, it could help me to improve my efficiency to 75-50%. It is very helpful, and I don't know how it does to the other parameters, such as we use some parameters to say that it belongs to a certain floor. I think it does. So if that also automatically assign a parameter such as floor, it will be so much helpful, because we used to use the schedules mostly by floor, so it will help that too.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. So that would be in the properties panel, right? The by floor mark.
In the host, in the host, we modeled just like you saw it. We modeled the columns floor by floor. So if I replicate, and the column has a certain parameter of flow, and when I use the rebar, sometimes use shared parameters to make the process a little bit easier. So when I copy when I propagate the rebar, I expect that to automatically update the shared parameter on floor. That's what I will expect to. Well, if it is not, sure, I can use some selection and assign it by myself.
makes sense. Okay. Then I would say that this is pretty much what I wanted to talk to you about today. We finished even a little bit earlier. It went pretty fast. And thank you again very much.
Maybe that's because I'm a fast learner. I don't know.
It could be. Yeah. And thank you very much for your feedback and like sharing your impression with me. It's very useful to kind of, make sure that it works adequately. And keep in touch and have a nice rest of the day.
Thanks, you too. This feature, it is in the roadmap for a recent version of Revit, or it will take some time, so I have to wait a little bit longer.
It is already on the beta version. Like, if I don't know if you ever used the like beta version of Revit, but it's already out for testing. However, I don't know to say very specifically when it will be rolled out, like as a final version. But it's so we already worked on it quite a lot, so I think it will not take extremely long until it's out. But a specific date or a version when it's out, I don't really know to say.
Well, I think it's totally fine by now, but if you can improve it, it will be very helpful too. Thanks you so much, Flavio, for your time to show me that new kind of feature. I am mostly so pleased with it, and also I can't wait for it. It is very helpful.
It's very good to hear. Yeah. Great. Then thank you again, and have a nice day.
Have a nice day too, Flavio. Sorry for my English, I have to improve it a lot. But that will be a little bit on the road.
I understood everything.
Oh, yeah, thank you very much. Have a nice day, Flavio, again. See ya.